Hello everyone, welcome to the 101% podcast where we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to always push yourself, how to become a beast and how to defeat struggle. This podcast will help you to get a better life, that's 101% for sure. I'm your host Joakim and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Welcome to this podcast. Hello again. In this episode, we will teach you what Stoicism is and why it is a helpful mindset to have in life. Annika will tell you why becoming more stoic is one of her main goals for 2025.
This episode will be a bit different. We'll give you some lessons from the Stoic philosophy, some Stoic quotes, and some reflections. Many of the quotes are from our old friend Marcus Aurelius, a legendary Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher. We encourage you to press pause sometimes and reflect by yourself. How can you implement this to your life? Please write down some lessons or thoughts and share them with us in the Facebook community group, or share your thoughts with us on a DM. Or keep them to yourself if that's what's best for you. But please, we encourage you to implement this to your own life. Let's get started.
So Annika, I have here rumors about that you have become an ant. Is that right, or is that just the word on the street?
That is correct. I became an ant in the late December, so that was really nice. I'm very happy about that. That was the day that we were recording the last episode, and I remember I told you guys that I was very excited. And I want to give a big shout out to my sister-in-law, Adla. She is so inspiring, and she just opened her home. We all came and lived with her. She gave birth to a little prince, Amin. He's so adorable, and invited us in right afterwards. So we've been spending a lot of time with family, which has been really great. I feel very blessed.
Great to hear. Happy for that.
And I think that in life, there's so many people that inspire me, many everyday heroes that just her mindset and her strength and everything has inspired me a lot. And you find inspiration everywhere. I encourage everyone to lift your gaze and look for it.
Good.
How about you? You've had a Christmas celebration?
Yeah, it has been a Christmas celebration, yeah. Spend a lot of time with my family and a lot of good conversation. Eat very much good food and play a lot of cards. Yeah, also look a lot of movies, walk some trips. So it has been a great holidays. And between you and me, guys, actually did take some days off. It was not too many, but it was some. And of course, a lot of working also in this Christmas. But not as much as usual. A little bit slow down and enjoy more time with the family and try to do much more things together than usual. So it has been a great holiday, a little bit reset, and now I'm ready to cross 2025 on all the importance area.
That is awesome to hear. We are in the beginning of this year and you are crushing it already. You have written down all of your goals. You have a strategic plan on how to follow up the steps to achieve them, and you're running in a high speed.
Yes, absolutely. Same as you. I have to keep up with you, yeah. So then I have to do it.
That is awesome. It is awesome that we can sprint together. We can encourage each other to push as hard as we can. And I feel very encouraged when you work so much. You're so dedicated. Everything you put out, you have performed so highly on it. And it really encourages me to take out the best in me and push myself a lot harder as well. And we actually have a lot of exciting things coming up for this year. Some things we won't announce quite yet, so stay tuned for a lot of exciting things coming in the next few months. But what we wanted to tell you about now is that we have started our newsletter. You can sign up for it on our webpage, the101percentpodcast.com. And also we have started a community group on Facebook. So this is a closed private Facebook group that you can become a member to. Just text us in a DM or go into our Facebook profile and ask for a membership in the group. It is completely free and you can sign up or leave as you want. But we have 2 rules in this group that you can read more about. And the reason we made this group is to create a community of accountability partners, a community where you share for others and others share for you, and where you can put your goals out to hold yourself accountable. Because me and Joakim have done this to each other for a really long time, and this has been a really big factor in our success. If I tell him that I'm going to do something, I can't remember a time where I've had to call him and say, hey, I didn't, because I respect him a lot and I want to do as I've told him to. So this kind of accountability partnership has been very beneficial. And that is also what we want to create for you guys. Me and Joakim will, of course, be a lot in this group. And we encourage our listeners to join up as a member, try it out, be there for each other, be there for yourself, and we hope you find good success in that.
Absolutely. It's a superpower, yeah, to become accountability to each other and to other also, yeah. Put out your weekly goals, and it's much more easy to do it, yeah, when you have people. So it's absolutely a great place to sign up. I hope you guys will join.
And also, you can sign up for a newsletter. You can sign up on our webpage, the 101percentpodcast.com. That will be a weekly newsletter where every week we'll send you a letter with motivation, some fuel, some information. Sign up and see if you like it.
Sounds great. I absolutely will sign up.
Oh.
So today's episode is about the Stoic mindset, and we're gonna dive deep into the Stoicism. We got tips from one of our listeners, yeah, that we should make an episode about this interesting topic. So we're gonna do that today. So thank you to the listener, yeah, who give us tip about making a podcast about this episode. We appreciate that. So some reflection about the Stoicism. Our friend Andrew Tate, he use a lot about our friend Andrew Tate use a lot about the Stoic mindset. He's a very Stoic, and that's good about him. That him is so calm, and when he use the Stoic mindset, he approach it in things what happen with him in a logic way instead of the emotional. He is calm and controlled. That's what the Stoic mindset is about. And very often when he is in debate or argue with people or something, people get angry and they get emotional and they say things and they lose control of themselves. But he stays so calm and controlled, and he approach it as a professional, as he say, and also in a logic way. And then he is so good to debate because he think logically and him not lose control and became so emotional. So I absolutely think that Stoic mindset is a great way to be, because you approach things in a much more logical ways, and you do much better decisions when you are logical and calm instead of emotional. So Stoicism is an insight Greek philosophy that emphasizes resilience, rationality, and emotional control in the face of life challenge. It teaches us that we can't control external events, but we can control how we react to them. You control your thoughts, your decision, and your reaction.
Learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. It is important to be resilient in life, to bounce back from things, and to cope with things in a good way. To be robust through the storms that life will throw your way. Some things are inevitable, like death, illness, or natural parts of life.
We suffer not from events in our life, but from our judgment about them.
And we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. This resonates strongly with modern psychology and the self-help movement. Many people have self-defeating attitudes, and the Stoic philosophy heals that and teaches us a much more fulfilling mindset. A mindset that will lead to you coming out on the better end of situations by your acceptance and response to it.
Stoicism tells us to accept those things instead of being too emotional about them. Reflecting upon mortality is very important. This should remind you to live with purpose and prioritize what is truly important for you and appreciate life even more. It also teaches us to not be too attached to external things, such as status, opinions of others, or positions, rather than focusing on the temporary things that are outside of your control. Focus on your values and the desire within yourself, what you need to achieve a fulfilled life.
It is not the load that breaks you, it is the way you carry it.
Through discipline comes freedom.
And there was a quote I shared to you in a previous episode when I was talking about how I've realized this more and more as time has gone by. And I want to share it again with you because it is so good. And it is such a good description on how my ambitions or focus has changed throughout the year. So I'm going to read it to you and then reflect upon it together with you afterwards. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. I found it was difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my nation. When I found I couldn't change the nation, I began to focus on my town. I couldn't change the town, and as an older man, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realized the only thing I can change is myself. And suddenly I realized that if long ago I had changed myself, I could have made an impact on my family. My family and I could have made an impact on our town. And the impact could have changed the nation. And I could indeed have changed the world. And I think this one is such a good description on the realizations we might make through life, because when I was young, I was extremely ambitious and I felt like I had so much influence on the world and that was my goal. And as I grow older, I realized that it's hard to reach out to the world. But what you should do is to focus inwards. Focus on yourself. Focus on changing yourself, being the example that you want to be, being the example that you look up to, having good values, fulfilling those every single day. Do as you're supposed to do. Do what you say you want to do. And be that example. And then you will influence your closest friends, your family, and they will again influence their closest friends and family. And the ripple effect of that has broad effects that can indeed change the world. And the reason I take it up today when we're talking about the Stoic mindset is also the principle that the Stoicism teaches us, that there are many external effects that you cannot control, but you can control your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. And that's what my biggest goal is now, to only focus on myself, what I can control, how I respond to things, how I act, how I do things. And that is my goal, to look inwards. And then, hopefully, the ripple effects of that can hopefully inspire many people and change those effects that is important for me in the world.
Great goal. And I'm so excited to see your journey through 2025, how you will change yourself and be more stoic.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think that earlier I've had a lot of good emotions. I've had a lot of big emotions. It has been very difficult sometimes to deal with them in a way, because there's been big ups and big downs in a way, or like big emotions that has taken over my thoughts. And then I've looked up to some people, like my kickboxing coach, Elmin. He was a huge inspiration for me throughout the years I was training up in Trondheim, and I learned a lot from him. He is very stoic. Elmin Sivic, he is very stoic, very calm, very controlled. He always explains things out of logical principles, not emotional. So he inspired me a lot to look into Stoicism. That's how my journey began a few years ago. And my husband Karim is very stoic. He inspires me a lot about how everything that happens outside of his control is also outside of his attention. But what he pays attention to is his reactions, how he responds to it, what he can do, or if he will just let it go. He doesn't get so emotional affected about things that would make me very disappointed. Doesn't make him very disappointed. He's just like, they do as that. His mood doesn't depend on other people or external things. He's very stoic, and that inspires me a lot. And I think that my road to happiness is a lot more true Stoicism than I have realized before. And that is the main reason why it is my goal for 2025, the road to happiness, you know?
Absolutely. It's great to hear, yeah, that Karim and Elmin, the way they approach life, it's a cool way to live life, and I think they will have it so good with themselves, yeah, when they approach life on this way and not get affected of external thing happen, yeah. So that's very cool to hear. And I have tried for a long time to be calm and not get stressed, and I use Stoic mindset, and I think especially if I work or if something happen in the life, and if so many things is stress around me, I try to be calm, yeah. I try to think, okay, I'm not gonna stress now. I not control the external thing, but I can control how I self approach things. So I try to be calm inside my head, and it's good. Yeah, you feel okay. I have control of myself, and just slow down in myself, and then I get it much more better. And it's also good. You feel you have control. You feel when so many things stress around you, and you just take it easy inside your head. It's a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And as I understand, that's much about what Stoicism is about.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I will also try to work much more about this, and keep reading, keep listening about Stoicism, and become better about that. So, very interesting topic.
Definitely. And I have seen you gone a far way in it as well. You have become more stoic, and it is a lot easier to tell my problems to you as a stoic than if you'd had your emotions outside and you'd been so stressed all the time. Then I wouldn't be able to share my stress with you. But when I share my stress, you are so calm, so you take down the level, and then it's easier for me to think and you to help me. So this is a great quality as a conversation partner and as a problem solver, and to create your own happiness and to think logical and to respond to things accordingly with your values.
Absolutely, it's very great for a listener and conversation partner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so great in so many things. So absolutely, I think people should dive deeper into.
Mm-hmm.
And how can the principle of Stoicism help you in your life? Would it benefit you to be more calm, not as emotional, and more resilient? Stoicism also teaches us to embrace adversity as opportunities. Life is hard, and life throws all kinds of challenge at you. How will you handle them? Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it.
Inside of your soul is a spring of strength that always renews, if you remember to look for it.
Another important lesson this philosophy teaches us is to be more grateful. It is all about perspective. Instead of focusing on the things you wish you had, be grateful for the things you have. Stoicism teaches us that our emotion and reaction are often the result of faulty or distorted things. Again, we see the importance of personal development and how our relationship to ourselves is important for everything that we do.
Every time you judge someone, it reveals a part of yourself that needs healing. If you are judgmental, ask yourself, why is this person making me feel this way? What is it about this situation that triggers discomfort in me? And something that I've learned recently is that in Islam, we always say mashallah to things that are nice or beautiful or that we like or adore. And that means God has willed it because everything comes from God. Absolutely everything. And then when you say this, you give credit to Him for the nice things. And that is very important. What I've also learned recently is about evil eye. And that is when someone admires you in a jealous way. They might look at you and be jealous of what you have. And then they will put an evil eye on it, which creates bad energy in a way. And it can lead to very bad things like sickness, or it can ruin the things that are good. And that's why we always say mashallah, because we acknowledge that this is from God and we are grateful for it. So this is something I've been very focused about lately, that it's important to say it in a good way and to be appreciative of it and to never create bad things upon each other, to never look at anything in a jealous way, because that is only negative. To be jealous is only a negative thing. So it is very important to be aware of that and to take distance to that.
Very great way to think. And I'm a Christian, yeah, and I believe in Christ. But it's also many good things I hear from you, Annika, from Islam and about you have reading the Quran. And this was a very great way to approach many things. So I absolutely would like to hear and also learn, because even if it's not my religion, I so many good things I can learn. So it's so important to have an open mind about things. And this one you say when you teach me, when you say thing in Islam, you have to really mean it. Yeah, I think that's a very good one.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that we can talk about everything, our different beliefs and our faith and everything. And we have learned a lot from each other. And I told you, as you mentioned, that everything comes from intention. When we pray, we have to mean it. If not, it might not even count. And everything has to be meant in a good way. Nothing can be forced upon. Not a marriage, not a hijab, nothing. Everything comes from good intention. If not, it is not accordingly to our religion.
Yeah, so that's great. Always teach each other new things, and things will help me to get better life, and also you too. So it's great to teach each other valuable things. To be mindful and self-aware is also a very important focus area here. To be self-resistant, logical, calm, and with courage. Only the ones who have good self-control and good morality qualities can bring positive change in others.
You become what you give your attention to. If you do not choose what thoughts and images you expose yourself to, someone else will.
Look within yourself for the source of all good. Focus your energy on cultivating positive thoughts and action. So, to summarize, a Stoic mindset is about finding inner peace through reason, self discipline, and the acceptance of life as it comes. It is about tolerance and self control. It teaches us to deal with challenges with a calm, thoughtful, and rational approach. Stoic people have a good relationship to their own emotion and appear calm under pressure, without their emotional extreme taking over.
This was a great lesson. I learned a lot in the process where we were planning the episode together. And this is something that I've been looking a little bit into for the last few years, but something that I definitely have to look a lot more into and try to live by, because I feel that when I'm not doing it, my stress takes over, and stress and chaos leads to more stress and chaos, and the Super Mario song I've been telling you all about. So when I'm more stoic, the Super Mario song is muted a little bit, and I am more focused, calm, rational, logical. And I've thought a lot about the people that inspire me, as Elmin and Karim and you, Joakim, and Jocko Willink, that we have been talking about. When people come to him and tell him they have a problem, he's like, good. Then you have to solve it. Like, he's always so calm, rational. And that is also a very good Stoic, in my opinion. So we have a lot to learn. And I think that it will be a great way to leave some heavy luggage behind, to not carry around all the worries of the external things in life, because you cannot change it. So why have it as a luggage? Why bring them all in your backpack and carry them around in the world when it's so heavy and it's only tearing you down? Leave it. The external things, leave it. Focus about the things that you can change. Focus about yourself. Create your own happiness. That's my final words for now.
Difficulty strengthened the mind as labor does the body. At any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. This is so important, so I will say it one more time. At a given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. Which one do you choose? If you like this episode and feel that it gave you a lot of value, it would be great if you can share it with a friend or someone who need to hear it. If you would like to donate a small amount to help us grow the show, we will highly appreciate that. The donation link is in our webpage, the 101percentpodcast.com, and the link is below. Today's episode was recorded January 3rd, 2025. In the next episode, we will talk about hope in difficult times. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram on this podcast account, the 101% podcast. If you like this episode, make sure to share this podcast episode with a friend and review the show on Apple Podcast. Thank you to all the audience for listening. We appreciate you all a lot. Hope that you will come back and listen to our next episode. Until next time, take care and give it your best.